Hello there, I'm Muhammed Ahmad Hamdan and you're watching Nightline, the top stories. Targeted diesel subsidy measure done at the right time, says Bank Negara. And PM wants outstanding issues between Malaysia and Singapore resolved before the end of the year. Good morning. We begin with this story. Pakatan Harapan PH will field Johari, a local from Sungai Bakap, was well known in the community. Being a former educator and a familiar face, PH hopes that this may help pull in votes for the unity government. The 60-year-old Johari, who previously served as the director of the Aminuddin Baki Institute's Northern Branch, is actively involved in charitable activities. The Election Commission, EC, scheduled the by-election for July 6 following the death of the Assemblyman Nur Zamri Latif on May 24th. Zamri, the then Nibung Tebal Pass chief, won the seat in the state elections last August, defeating PH candidate Nur Hidayah Cik Ros with a majority of 1,563 votes. Moving on, the targeted diesel subsidy measure in Peninsular Malaysia, which came into effect on Monday, was done at the right time, with strong economic growth and low inflation rate ensuring no arbitrary surge in the prices of goods. Bank Negara Governor Dato' Abdul Rashid Abdul Ghaffur, who spoke to TV3, said he is also confident that domestic spending that drives the country's economy will continue to be strong despite the government's new subsidy policy. According to Abdul Rashid, stable growth rate, controlled inflation and low unemployment rate also ensure targeted fuel subsidies are implemented without affecting the national economy.
Dari segi pertumbuhan ekonomi, kita rasa pandangan kita pada masa ini di mana kita dapat pertumbuhan ekonomi agak baik, atau 4-5%, dan kadar inflasi yang sedang menurun, ia memberi kita ruang yang baik ataupun window opportunity untuk kita melaksanakan pembaharuan struktural pada masa kini.
Malaysia recorded its first quarter growth of 4.2%, a clear indication that the country's economy is in line with positive projections this year, while the unemployment rate is expected to remain low at about 3.3% this year, besides continuous income increase. The introduction of Budi Madani and fleet cards for consumers eligible for diesel subsidy is seen as a measure to ensure the inflation rate remains between 2 and 3.5%. Bank Negara also saw no signs of any surge in the inflation rate during this period.
Okey, untuk pengukuran Faiz, anggaran kita di antara 2% hingga 35% inflasi itu telah mengambil kira sebenarnya. Sebab itu kalau kita lihat dari segi julat dia lebih lebar. Antara 2 hingga 3.5%. Dia telah mengambil kira beberapa elemen dari segi pelarasan subsidi diesel.
He explained that the economic structure reform, including subsidies, is very important to ensure sustainable economic growth. The government previously disclosed that the bulk subsidies of fuel and other goods soared up to more than 80 billion ringgit last year. Therefore, it needs to be reformed to prevent leakage, smuggling, and to target only needy groups. Meanwhile, the government has no plans to implement subsidy rationalisation for RON 95 for now. Second Finance Minister Datuk Seri Amir Hamzah Azizan said priority will be given to the implementation of targeted diesel subsidy first.
Masa sekarang kita fokus untuk pelaksanaan subsidi RON diesel buat masa sekarang. Biarlah diesel subsidi ni habis dulu. Kita baru memula dengan diesel subsidi ni. Yang penting kalau kita ingat kan, masa kita nak buat diesel subsidi, kita kena memikir implikasinya, kita memikir cara yang nak buatnya. Ya, sebab masa sekarang fokus kerajaan adalah untuk subsidi diesel.
He stressed that the government wanted to ensure the targeted diesel subsidy achieves the objectives, especially involving logistics vehicles. Therefore, the implementation of subsidy rationalisation for RON 95 will only be made after the targeted subsidy for diesel is stable. Amir Hamzah added that the targeted diesel subsidy has succeeded in reducing fuel smuggling activities at the border. Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim wants outstanding issues such as the water agreement and maritime boundaries between Malaysia and Singapore to be resolved before their annual leaders' retreat scheduled to take place at the end of the year. Acknowledging that it would not be easy to resolve them, the Prime Minister is confident that there will be vast benefits to both countries if they can be resolved amicably and immediately. The matter was discussed with his counterpart from Singapore, Lawrence Wong, in a meeting in Putrajaya on Wednesday.
I have assured Prime Minister Lawrence that I would certainly insist that our staff work fast at a faster pace and try to resolve where they can. If they can't, then bring it up to forward attention. And it would be wonderful, it would be marvelous if we could resolve it before the bilateral meeting towards the end of the year.
Meanwhile, Wong described the meeting with Anwar, which lasted over an hour, as a good opportunity for both parties to discuss the matter involved. He said he would come to Malaysia at any time to help speed up the resolution of outstanding issues between the two countries.
And whatever differences we may have on these issues should not affect or colour how we treat the overall relationship, and certainly should not detract from the possibilities of pursuing new areas of cooperation.
Wong arrived in Malaysia on Tuesday for a 2-day working visit. It was his maiden visit after being appointed as Prime Minister of the Republic on May 15th. And in the meeting, both leaders also discussed placing Singaporean teachers in Malaysia to teach English and other subjects.
We did discuss about the probably possibility of Singapore considering my humble submission of sending teachers to teach English or some other subjects to many regions in this country. Let the young graduates make their own choice if they can, and I'm extremely pleased that Prime Minister Lawrence is prepared to positively say this.
The two leaders also touched on efforts to increase trade and investment, maritime borders, water issues, and Flight Information Region (FIR). Meanwhile, Wong explained Singapore is committed to the success of joint projects, namely the Johor-Singapore Special Economic Zone (JSSEZ) and the Rapid Transit System Link project (RTS Link) between Johor Bahru and Singapore. In addition, he is also open to new ideas and suggestions to revive the Kuala Lumpur-Singapore High-Speed Rail Project (HSR). Moving on, murdered autistic child Zayn Rayyan Abdul Matin's grandparents were arrested on Wednesday as the murder investigation throws yet another twist. Police confirmed that the boy's grandfather and grandmother were arrested at about 2:30 p.m. on Wednesday.
Ya, saya mengesahkan datuk dan juga nenek kepada adik raya ini kita tangkap dalam 2:30 petang tadi untuk bantu siasatan.
Dekat mana tu?
Di kawasan Subang.
Subang Jaya ke ataupun Subang Shah Alam?
Subang Bestari.
Subang Bestari Shah Alam.
Ya.
Zayn's parents are currently under remand as they assist police in the murder inquiry conducted under Section 302 of the Penal Code. Zayn was reported missing in Damansara Damai on December 5th last year and was found dead the next day about 200 meters from his apartment block. The post-mortem revealed multiple injuries, including defensive wounds, while the cause of death was believed to be strangulation. Meanwhile, the councils representing the mother of Zayn Rayyan has objected to police's application to record her guilty plea before a magistrate on Wednesday. Counsel Fahmi Abdul Moin and Mahmud Abdul Jumaat made their objections against police's application under Section 26(1) of the Evidence Act before Petaling Jaya Magistrate Zafran Rahim Hamzah during proceedings held in chambers. Mahmud stressed that the mother did not make any guilty plea during the proceedings but had taken the opportunity to give statements on the entire incident. Both counsel said their objections, as well as the mother's statements, were recorded by the magistrate.
Namun, menariknya di sini, Puan Isma ni, anak guam tidak membuat sebarang pengakuan salah. Saya tekankan, anak guam iaitu Puan Isma tidak membuat sebarang pengakuan salah. Sebaliknya, beliau membuat keterangan, memberi statement kepada Tuan Magistrat.
Dan asas-asas bantahan pihak kami berdasarkan daripada peruntukan undang-undang di mana dalam kanun tata cara jenayah tidak ada dinyatakan apa-apa proses yang jelas berkaitan dengan permohonan seperti ini. Ya? Di mana kami juga bertanyakan kepada pihak penyiasat kenapa prosedur ini tidak dimaklumkan dengan lebih awal.
Fahmi, who was assisted by co-counsel Ilyani Kuzairi, confirmed that he would represent the boy's father, while Mahmud will appear for the mother. Earlier, media personnel began gathering outside the court complex as early as 7:30 a.m. to get the latest updates on the remand case of the child's parents. The legal proceedings commenced at about 11 a.m., presided over by Magistrate Zafran Rahim Hamzah. Zayn Rayyan's mother was then seen leaving the court complex with the police escorting her into a van at 12:51 p.m. The boy's father was not produced in court on Wednesday, and the couple's 13-day remand order to facilitate murder investigations would expire on Thursday. The boy's parents have been under remand since June 1st, following their arrests the day before at their family home in Puncak Alam. The magistrate's court had granted the initial 7-day remand order on June 1st, and it was extended further for 6 days to enable investigations. Selangor Police Chief Dr. Hussein Omar Khan said inconsistencies in the couple's statements had led to the extension. The Employees Provident Fund, EPF, reported an increase in total distributable income for the first quarter ended March 31st, 2024, rising to 19.2 billion ringgit. This is an increase of 33.1% from 14.42 billion ringgit recorded in the same quarter of 2023. According to the EPF, the distributable income excludes mark-to-market (MTM) gains from unrealized securities. A total of 16.56 billion ringgit out of the 19.2 billion ringgit total distributable income was generated for simpanan conventional and 2.64 billion ringgit for simpanan syariah. The EPF attributed the robust performance in the first quarter of this year to resilient global growth, particularly in advanced economies. The FBM KLCI index increased by 10% year-to-date, reflecting confidence in the growth and impact of various new economic and industry policies. It said that while first quarter results have been strong, financial markets remain subject to a number of risks that have been prevalent, namely high for longer interest rates, geopolitical and conflict risks, and changes in policies resulting from a large number of elections being held in a number of large economies this year. In the meantime, income from equities increased to 13.15 billion ringgit compared to 8.69 billion ringgit recorded in the first quarter of 2023. The asset class remained the top income contributor at 68% of total distributable income. The quarter under review also witnessed the EPF maintaining an active to inactive member ratio of 53 to 47 in the first quarter of this year, consistent with the same period in the previous year, with 8.6 million active members from a total membership of 16.1 million. Tun Dr. Mahathir Muhammad on Wednesday testified at the Royal Commission of Inquiry (RCI) regarding issues surrounding the sovereignty of Pulau Batu Putih, Middle Rocks and South Ledge. The former Prime Minister testified before a 7-member panel behind closed doors at the Legal Affairs Division of the Prime Minister's Department. He arrived at the building at around 10:46 a.m. and was seen leaving after nearly 2 hours. Dr. Mahathir had previously been subpoenaed to testify before the RCI regarding the sovereignty issue. Earlier on Wednesday, the Kuala Lumpur High Court dismissed Dr. Mahathir's application for a judicial review seeking open proceedings for the RCI on the handling of the Batu Putih, Middle Rocks and South Ledge sovereignty issue. Judge Dato' Amarjit Singh also dismissed his application to prohibit Tun Mat Rao Sharif from acting as the RCI chairman and to prevent Dato' Dr. Baljit Singh Sidhu and Dato' Muhammad Rida Abdul Qadir from being RCI members. The court also denied Dr. Mahathir's application to postpone the RCI proceedings until the final resolution of the judicial review application. "41 killed in a fire." News from the foreign front when we return.
Tips mengubat hati terluka cara telefilm 10 malam di TV3 Jun ini.
Apa? Sama dia nak bercerai dengan you ke tak?
Sambut hari lahir insan tersayang.
Lagi guna berdetik.
Menunaikan permintaan terakhir ibu.
Bagi budaya ya.
Jangan ada benci.
Ayah ada apa-apa yang ayah tak berkenan dengan Syarif.
Sembuhkan hati yang terluka di telefilm TV3 setiap Jumaat 10 malam dan stream sekarang melalui Tonton.
MHI sepanjang minggu ini.
Gagal SPM, masih banyak peluang terbuka.
Topik kesihatan paru-paru berair. Apakah punca dan rawatannya?
Penceraian, wajarkah kita raih?
Labi-labi gergasi diambang kepupusan.
Dan peristiwa Nabi Ibrahim dan Nabi Ismail alaihissalam, pesanan buat masyarakat kontemporari.
Semua ini di MHI setiap Isnin hingga Jumaat.
Juga di aplikasi Tonton.
Hanya di
TV3.
Apabila datang, ia boleh mengambil alih kesemuanya tubuh, minda dan hidup anda. Stres bukan sekadar tekanan perasaan tetapi boleh mengancam kesihatan secara keseluruhan. Kenalilah tanda-tanda stres sejak awal dan bincang mengenainya secara terbuka. Dapatkan sokongan moral dan emosi daripada orang di sekeliling anda serta bantuan profesional di saluran yang betul. Saksikan Hello Doktor Ahad 5:30 petang di TV3.
Onto the foreign front. Qatar's Prime Minister Sheikh Mohammed bin Abdul Rahman Al Thani said on Wednesday that there is a clear and firm call to end the war in Gaza. Speaking at a joint media conference with US Secretary of State Antony Blinken in Doha, Sheikh Mohammed noted that both sides need to be pressured to reach an agreement and both have been counterproductive. Meanwhile, Blinken claimed that Hamas's requested amendments to the UN-backed ceasefire plan are workable, but some are not. While Blinken claimed that the Zionist regime has accepted the plan, its Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has repeatedly said Israel will not stop the war before defeating Hamas, raising questions about prospects for an enduring ceasefire. The 2024 UK election, the Britain's Green Party has pledged to raise taxes on top earners in its manifesto, claiming the plans will generate $89.3 billion a year to mend broken Britain. Its co-leader, Adrian Ramsey, said the Greens has set out what it calls a game-changing transformation in housing, transport and the green economy. The manifesto includes raising the national insurance rate to 8% on annual wages above $64,000, along with introducing new wealth taxes of 1% and 2% on assets worth over $12 million and $1 billion respectively. This would raise more than $19 billion a year by the end of next Parliament, with the money going to the National Health Service. The party also committed to allocate $63 billion per year on health and social care by 2030. Now, at least 41 people were killed in devastating fire that broke out in a building in southern Kuwait on Wednesday. The fire broke out in a kitchen in the 6-story building in Mangaf City at around 6 a.m. local time, leading to multiple deaths from smoke inhalation and leaving dozens more injured. According to officials, the building where the fire occurred was used to house a large number of foreign labourers. The Deputy Prime Minister ordered the arrest of the building's owner during a visit to the site. The fire had been contained and the authorities were investigating the cause of it. Temperatures are hitting record highs in parts of north and central China this week, while a severe drought in the east is also threatening crops as countries across Asia brace themselves for another summer of extreme weather. China is facing several days of scorching heat, with temperatures set to reach as high as 42 degrees Celsius in northern Hebei province on Wednesday. Soaring temperatures will continue to envelop northern China until June 20th, when the mercury could reach or exceed historical highs in Hebei, Shanxi, as well as central Henan province. Record-breaking heat scorched large parts of Asia in April, killing hundreds of people, damaging crops and forcing schools to shut down. Zayn survives early scare in Sydney. Sports when we come back.
Get ready, ladies. It's time to shatter the stereotype. We talk career, health, finance, relationships, and everything in between. So grab your coffee cups and wear your sassiest smiles. This talk show is all about you. Catch Women Talk every Saturdays at 5 p.m. on TV3. Stream also on Tonton.
Mira nak kongsikan sedikit panduan keselamatan anak ketika di luar rumah. Pastikan keadaan sekeliling, pantau pergerakan anak dan jangan biarkan mereka berkeliaran jauh daripada anda. Elakkan pemakaian barang kemas yang berlebihan. Yang terakhir, boleh bawa whistle bersama. Jerit sekuat hati atau tiup whistle untuk menarik perhatian orang sekeliling sekiranya diganggu atau merasa terancam. Dapatkan pelbagai informasi bermanfaat bersama Nona setiap Ahad jam 2 petang di TV3.
We're back with sports. Badminton, the 2024 Australian Open. National top singles shuttler Zayn avoided a first-round banana skin after defeating Indian ace Sankar Muthuswamy Subramanian on Wednesday. The world number 8, however, struggled as he needed more than an hour to beat the lower-ranked shuttler 21-16, 18-21, 21-10. The 26-year-old will next face compatriot Sung Ju Ven, who saw off Canadian Victor Lai 21-16, 21-16. In the women's singles event, Kayla Chana thrashed Australia's Ira Samir Acharya 21-6, 21-5 to advance into the next round. Waiting for the national shuttler in the second round is Taiwan's Pai Yu-po. National mixed doubles pair Tan Kian-meng Lai Pei-jing also secured a spot in the second round after brushing aside host pair Ephraim Stephen Sam Danya Nugroho 21-13, 21-13. The fifth-seeded pair is scheduled to face another home pair, Adam Jeffrey and Justin Villegas, next. Moving on to football, Manchester United head coach Erik ten Hag is set to remain in the job for next season. The Dutchman has entered into talks with Old Trafford over a contract extension. Ten Hag's contract runs until the end of next season, with the club having the option of extending it a further 12 months. The decision comes after an end-of-season review by the club's board for the 2023-24 campaign, which finished on a high with a shock FA Cup final win over favourites Manchester City. Previously, the 54-year-old's position was believed to be in jeopardy after finishing 8th in the Premier League table. Moreover, the Dutchman's job security had been the subject of speculation all season, and many pundits believed the FA Cup final would be the Dutchman's last game with the team, win or lose. But moments after their thrilling triumph, Ten Hag insisted he had no doubt he would be back and said he had received the backing of the club's owners all season. Meanwhile, the Red Devils legend Paul Scholes reacted on his social media post, expressing his joy while stressing that improvements are needed at the Stratford end. He also expressed the need for things to head in the right direction, starting with the 2024-25 campaign. Singaporeans charged in Johor with trafficking drugs. The details after this short break.
Pembunuhan yang mencetuskan tanda tanya.
Kes apa, bos?
Kelibat lelaki misteri mendorong Fatima untuk merungkai setiap inci kes.
Difahamkan mangsa ditemui dalam keadaan mengerikan. Boleh terangkan?
Respect sikit boleh tak?
Biarpun ada yang cuba menutup kebenaran.
Dijerut dengan apa, Wak?
I deserve the story.
Metro Crime Series mulai 15 Jun, Khamis hingga Sabtu 9 malam. Di Lestari TV3 dan stream sekarang melalui Tonton.
Makanlah apa anda nak makan. Yang penting makan sebelum lapar, berhenti sebelum kenyang. Sentiasa sulam dengan air kosong, banyakkan sayur serta serat dan kurangkan lemak dan juga gula. Senang je kan nak amalkan pemakanan sihat. Yang penting anda enjoy makanan anda. Saksikan Hello Doktor Ahad 5.30 petang di TV3.
5 sebab anda perlu menonton cerita Rama TV3 Jun ini. Pertama, ketabahan hidup bermadu.
Betul ke cara unik?
Kedua, penyesalan tidak berpenghujung. Ketiga, niat yang disalah erti.
Manusia ke Allah?
Keempat, misteri sebuah kehilangan.
You suka Daniel kan?
Kelima, cerita Rama TV3, satu destinasi untuk semua telefilm hebat kegemaran anda dan stream sekarang melalui Tonton.
Welcome back. 2 Singaporean men have been charged at the Johor Bahru Magistrates Court with distributing more than 58 kilograms of MDMA or ecstasy in Iskandar Puteri last month. No plea was recorded from either accused. 49-year-old Tan Xiao Wei and 36-year-old Yi Chung Kiat only nodded in acknowledgement after the charges were read to them in Mandarin before Magistrate R. Salini on Wednesday. Tan also faced 4 additional charges for distribution and 2 for possession, while Yi was slapped with 1 count each for distribution and possession. According to the charge sheet, they allegedly trafficked 58.6 kilograms of MDMA or ecstasy at Taman Horizon Hills, Iskandar Puteri at 10:30 p.m. on May 29th. The distribution charges framed under Section 39B, subsection 1A of the Dangerous Drugs Act for trafficking and punishable under Section 39B, subsection 2 of the same Act carries the death penalty or life imprisonment with no fewer than 15 strokes of the cane upon conviction. The possession charges framed under Section 12, subsection 2 and punishable under Section 12, subsection 3 of the same Act carries a jail term of up to 5 years or a maximum fine of 100,000 ringgit or both if found guilty. No bail was offered owing to the non-bailable nature of the trafficking charges. The court set August 14th for next mention, pending submission of the chemist's report. And in Perak, police arrested a man for allegedly stabbing his wife to death during an argument at their house in Kampung Simi, Ipoh. It was reported that the incident occurred at about 8:30 a.m. and was witnessed by the couple's 12-year-old daughter. It is understood that during the incident, the 48-year-old victim and her 56-year-old husband had been arguing upon returning home from having breakfast. The fight quickly escalated and the suspect allegedly hit the woman on the head before stabbing her repeatedly. According to family members, the woman had often been a victim of domestic violence. When the media arrived at the scene at 11:02 a.m., a crowd of people, including the victim's family members, had gathered around the area, with police officers seen carrying the body into a van. The suspect was detained by the police at the scene. Perak Police Chief Datuk Seri Muhammad Yusri Hassan Basri, who confirmed the matter, said that the case was still under investigation by the Ipoh District Police. As Nightline draws to a close this time around, let's take a look as the Frankfurt's Flusserbrücke Bridge lights up during Euro 2024 show rehearsal in Germany. With that, I'm Muhammed. Hamdan. Thanks for tuning in and be safe.